Hello Aries, and welcome to your February 2024 reading. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. This is going to help you with everything that you need here in the second month of the new year so that you are set up for success. As always, this will help you through sun, rising, and moon sign messages. And by the way, stick around until the end and we'll go into a little bit greater depth on all three. But first things first, let's get into channeled messages for this month ahead. So the first thing that I picked up on was basically a piece of advice from Spirit, which is to speak up, to speak often, and to be as proactive as possible, especially when you see something needs to be addressed. The way that this was conveyed in my mind's eye was I was shown a house that had a faulty roof. Every single room, every single closet had leaks. And I met with what was ostensibly the homeowner there, and they were in denial. I pointed to things and said, let's fix it. Let's get this under control. And they said, I don't want to cause a big deal. I don't want to deal with this right now. Leave me alone. And I'm sure that some of you have experienced this, whether it's in your personal relationships or work or school, and there's just somebody that has the power to make a difference, but sits back because they're afraid of conflict, or maybe they don't want to do the work. They're just kind of ignoring it. So this is a chance for you to take the lead. What I was doing in the dream was going beyond that person. So I thought there's another decision maker. There's someone else here that cares. I'm going to find them. We're going to fix this. Or at the very least, I'm going to be as vocal as I can so that if the roof caves in, I've at least been a voice of reason that tried to stop it from happening. So sometimes that's the best you can do, is to speak up, air your concerns, and let whatever may happen, happen. This is also a call to action to move beyond people and situations like this where they are not going to change. You're ready to change, you're ready to move, you're ready to do the right thing, but someone else isn't on board. So put your time and energy into things where people are partnering and aware. They've taken the cotton out of their ears, they have the blinders off, and they're going to roll up their sleeves and say, let's do this, okay? Message number one, you're way ahead of the curve on this. And it's okay to have concerns and to speak up. And you don't want to sweep things under the rug. So I put the moon here because it is basically about addressing fear, finding empowerment from, figuring out a solution or learning something. And that knowledge then helps you do better in the future. Okay, next card. I was also shown a scene where there was it looked like math and or physics, because we were looking at different things like acceleration and velocity and motion. And initially I felt overwhelmed, and someone came in and said, try this, do this. It's easier than you think. And the main thing was this person just articulating, this can be easy if you allow it to be. And I gave it a shot and I'm like, it is. And it was a light bulb moment for me. This is really important because the scene that followed was I then saw this same sort of person go into a teacher saying, I figured it out, I'm ready to catch up. And the teacher didn't want to do the work to assist. They were like, you know what, you're so far behind, you might as well just let it go. And this person said, no, I'm ready now to learn, and I figured it out and I've gotten past my block. If that happens, if you meet with someone and they don't, this is a continuation of the first slide, they don't want to do the work or they don't want to keep an open mind, new doors are opening up. This is the silver lining. This is the 10 of Pentacles that I featured here. This is about finding the right team, the right tribe, the right group that really encourages and nurtures you. And I feel like you tuning in today, the main message is you've got this. You can do this. Not only can you, but you will accomplish what you set out to do. Believe in yourself long before others can or will. Believe in yourself, especially when they don't. And keep holding up that high level of expectation and hope, and attract people that are in the same frequency, that are capable, aware, and hardworking. And I feel like if you can do that this month, you're going to meet a lot of traction and a lot of opportunity, and you're going to be ready for it as well. All right, let's take a look now at the cards and see what additional messages are coming through for February. Again, you can use this for Sun, Rising, Moon, or Venus. Let's get started. We have some beautiful messages, some great synchronicities. Some of the energy that I was picking up on where people weren't supporting you as necessary or needed, but we get that the universe has your back and that your unconditional love can also help you break through that cycle. First things first, let's take a look at your catalyst card. We have the Coffin, a card of death, rebirth, and reincarnation coming through here. And as you can see here, the catalyst is going to help you spark action and take the necessary sort of steps in your life. To me, when we think of like ancient Egyptians, death was the most important event of their life, and it was also a gateway or a beginning to something new. In which case, basically the end of something could be bringing on something better. So a relationship could be coming to a close. You may have lost someone or something. You may also be sort of stepping through a graduation moment like retirement or quitting a job, or maybe there's a layoff or anything of that nature. Something big, something that may require a bit of mourning and release, but once you exit from that, it's rebirth. This in the major arcana would be judgment, souls rising up, getting a second chance, stepping into something higher and better vibrationally. So there may be something first that you need to address that represents the stagnation or the release. Once you identify that and allow that to exit, that's when things get exciting. That's when good stuff starts to begin. All right, I noticed something really exciting here, which was we have the ability for you to break a cycle, to really step into an opportunity and be happy. The limiting factor this month comes from within. We see the devil here representing something within your energy that is holding you back, a thought process, possibly a person or an environment. So we're going to help you break through that this month. But let's begin with your centermost card here. The Chariot in reverse is basically the universe asking you, do you like the direction in which you're headed? And if not, where do you want to go? What do you want to do about it? This is your chance to not just reclaim power, but also to state intention and say, I want this or I don't want that. And this is how I'm going to accomplish this. So it's vision and execution, and then really taking the wheel. The Chariot's reversed, so you are maybe deciding in this moment, hey, I want to go back and fix this, or I want to go back and try that. You may also be thinking, I want to go in a different path from what you expected or what I even thought that I wanted, because I'm tuning into my desire. I'm also putting on top of this all of my aggregate experience, and things have changed. You get an opportunity to change your mind, and that change of mind can constitute a change in direction. The crossing card is the Seven of Swords, and this is a really important card in tarot because when we're looking at other people, it can basically be us putting our antenna up and saying, I don't feel right about that person because they tend to make promises they don't keep. Or there's something about the way that they're saying this, I feel like I need to do more research. Always listen to that instinct. That's the first message. Sometimes we have an inner voice that convinces us to do something that we know better. We're like, I really don't, I'm not going to do that. But the voice in our head says, maybe it's a convincing voice saying you can get away with it. It can also be something where we're trying to please people, so we overextend or make a promise that doesn't make sense. So if you say you're going to do something, do it. And if you don't want to do it, be honest with yourself, be honest with others. And if people around you lack integrity, lack follow through or transparency, this card comes through to help you. And basically you're going to say, I don't want to do that, I'm going to do this. And you're steering the ship in another direction. So these two together make a lot of sense. The reason you're going to go in a different path is because you don't want to partner or be a part of whatever this person or environment is trying to bring through. Trust yourself. I feel like you're going to navigate yourself around a potential roadblock. And as we take a look at what's coming through in the deep past, this is, for some of you, a chance to heal or move beyond familial mistakes. Maybe something that mom or dad did. Maybe something that society is doing that doesn't make sense. So there's something here where you want to be a creator of change. And again, this is taking you out of this stagnation that we see here in the Coffin, which is also good. So you have a new vision. Your voice is different than others, and that's good because we have two opposing leaders here. Again, historically and karmically, this is like the family or the teacher energy, and you're emerging here as King of Wands. Bright, brilliant, clear. Let's look at what's going to take you through that first, though. In the recent past, we have the Four of Pentacles, and if we compare this with the original card, there's some interesting things to look at. In this one, we see a swan. We see someone who has grace and dignity and the ability to move beyond what's obvious. There's a frame here, and if you were to zoom in, you wouldn't know necessarily that this was just a limited point of view. This swan can go beyond what is seen. And so this is going beyond what others can see or can imagine and moving into what you see, what you know. There are people around you that want to hold you in place. There's a kind of possessive energy. Can you see it here in the Four of Pentacles? I want to hold on to you. I want you to stay here. Maybe there's someone that wants you to accept less than what you deserve because this is a less than card in that respect. All you have to do is let that go. Let yourself be free, liberate yourself. And you can move beyond this to all of the abundance that's waiting for you. You can do so with dignity and grace. You can do so by standing up for yourself and saying, this is what I believe in, this is what I stand for. You may need to, I talked about that pivotal moment here, the release. You may be the initiator. You may say, I quit, or I need to move on, or I need my freedom. And then you become the King of Wands through that energy. The King of Wands is really great at innovation, trying new things. Yes, leadership is a part of that. But for those of you that aren't really into that leadership energy, this can be coming up with a new idea, maybe even something that could receive a patent. It isn't just a creative card, it's an engineering card too. So for those of you that might be building something and possibly even building an application, things like that, anything that hasn't been tried or done yet, but is possible, this is the card of possibilities, and it's the ultimate one. The King of Wands is going to take the idea all the way to the final stage. So you're coming through with this brilliant, bright light. He's holding this giant torch here, and so you might need to take it forward and really say, I believe in myself, I want to do this. I don't care if that person back there is has the blindfolds on like we talked about before. I have a solution. Let's talk. So if you're ready this month, you can really make a splash. And I'm excited to see this energy here as well. We can see a little bit of competition between the two lions up here, by the way. And so, notice how this one is just backing down or seems unbothered. You're going to find the right way to stand up and to speak up, and you're going to bring it together here if you're ready. Okay, so this is a great leadership card. Happy to see it in the crowning position. This is going to help you with this aha moment that I saw here with the Eight of Cups. We see someone rising up and breaking free from a cycle. In the Eight of Cups, there's always a chance to return, but there eventually comes a point where you've done enough. You've gone through the rinse and repeat cycle enough that you're ready to step in a different direction. I feel many of you are in that sort of general vicinity this month. So if you want to, you can do this month. You can lead the way. I love how this energy here peacefully, because we can see the dove is reaching for the star, and we also see the rainbow, which represents success after trial and error, success after possibly setback or rejection, because we actually got that. And so this is a chance for you to say, I'm going to try it until I get it right. By the way, that's the perfect combination of these two, or that's a perfect interpretation of these two cards. This is someone who lacks imagination. You're all about imagination this month, by the way, and you're going to say, no, I got this. It may take a couple of attempts, but you're going to get it done, if nothing else, to prove your own validity, and to basically the best revenge is success and happiness. If you can do what you set out to do, if you can be happy, if you can do so in a loving and kind way, people can't help but applaud and support it, and then they're going to think to themselves, I wish I had seen that. Why did I doubt that person? So just be the best version of yourself. Don't worry about the other stuff. It's not worth your time and energy. It's a nice segue into this. So this is representing you this month. The Devil sometimes is a misunderstood card. It can represent a limit from within, a limiting idea, especially when it's in the position that it was in. So this can simply be any sentence that you would start with, I can't, or I won't. Because by limiting the potential in your head or in your heart, even if doors are opening up to you, you won't see them, or you won't be able to engage with them because you've shut them down in the thought process. I think it's helpful to look at the traditional illustrations for both the Lovers and the Devil card, because you can see the similarities and the differences, and we can take you from this to this. So let's start with the Lovers card. In this, we see unconditional love, openness, light, and this sort of, the open energy is key because it's open heart, open mind. You're seeing things, you're not casting judgment on them. And also there's an overarching energy of love, loving who you are, appreciating other people, appreciating the blessings around you. And not having to hold someone present with a fear or anything. It's just basically like, no, we're spending time and energy together because we want to, right? So the antithesis of that would be the devil. But notice how evenly illustrated these cards are. You have an angel in both, one that's in heaven, one that's a fallen angel. Then you have two lovers, but the key difference between the lovers here is they are tethered with a chain. That chain isn't serving them, it's serving something or someone else. And the sort of ability to look one another heart to heart, eye to eye, that's not there. So how do we overcome the energy of the devil? Basically, you know, where I said that energy of I can't or I won't, just put in place of that I can and I will, and then eventually I am, whatever it is that you want to do. It is hope and faith and knowledge. All of those things can help overcome El Diablo, because the devil wants to work with ignorance, with fear, with uncertainty. So we just flip the energies around and you get into knowledge, certainty, love, light. And also, you remember what I was talking about with the possessive energy of the Four of Pentacles, which is a little easier to see if we go to the traditional illustration. So if someone is trying to hold on to you, or if you're trying to hold on to someone else, let it go. Let it go. And what that does here is it takes away those chains that tether something to you, or vice versa. So we have kind of possessive energy here, kind of possessive one here. And what we want to get back to is opening it up and saying, you can come or go. This is who I am. This is what I stand for. I love you. I love myself. And I love you enough to let you go. And whatever that is, again, it's this energy coming through. It's time to rise up, to step beyond that, so that you get a chance now to really explore the possibilities. So I mentioned the Judgment card. Here's the Judgment card. And it's saying, this isn't an end, it's a beginning. And that's why you're not afraid. That's why you don't have to hold on, because going back to the King of Wands, you see what's beyond this current situation, okay? So don't limit yourself. Don't let others limit you. Don't let a projection from mom, dad, society, teacher, etc. come into your headspace and take away this insight and this growth that wants to happen. Let's look at your environment. It's a nice pairing to the devil because it's a lack of vision. The Two of Swords can be someone like pulling the wool over your eyes, or there's blindfolds on. And when you don't know what else you can do, sometimes it feels like it's okay to settle for less than the best. And that's what this card is representing. So we're taking, we're taking the blinders off here and seeing beyond the obvious, beyond what's in front of you. And the cool thing with the Two of Swords is initially it may feel like, I don't know what to do, but you really just have two choices. Sometimes there's not a very clear path, so you're going to have to go into intuition, or you're going to get inquisitive and ask questions. Put on your journalistic cap and say, I need to learn more about this, or it's not enough to just do it because you said I need to do it. I need to know if it's right, if it's wrong, if there's something else. So be inquisitive, explore, and you'll find your own path. You'll find the clarity that you seek, okay? And in fact, we see that happening here. Something that feels like it's a stalemate leading to a clear path, clear action, the Ace of Swords. Don't sign on the dotted line until you have explored all options, until you have read the fine print, and until you feel like it's an even exchange. Because again, as we look at the Four of Pentacles, it's a card that isn't enough. It's not enough to sustain in the long run. So we want to make sure that there's more than that. And as we were seeing in this illustration, you can make that change happen with grace. Speak up, speak out, create something new. This is an inventive card as well. And using your skill of communication is going to be really, really not just necessary, but also a very strong tool in opening up the new door that wants to happen this month for you. So definitely see new doors of opportunity opening. And for some of you, it could be in love and relationships. For others of you, this could just be a card that indicates heightened creativity and sensitivity. Queen of Cups, new love, better emotional state of being. So for those of you that have been feeling triggered a little bit emotionally, highly sensitive, this is a card where you finally start to pull that all together and think, you know what? I can take this energy and use it as inspiration or enthusiasm. And she's holding that chalice upright. I am deserving, I am ready, I am here to receive. So what a great outcome card. And it's nicely paired with the Eight of Cups, breaking a cycle, reaching that rainbow, and reaping the rewards of the hard work. We also see a divine partnership between the King and the King of Wands and the Queen of Cups. So someone here who really is willing and ready to show up, because the King of Wands does a great job doing that. And someone who is also really ready to receive and express themselves. Not a lot of communication between the two. They're using maybe a different language, nonverbal, and just demonstrative energy is coming through in new relationships. But we'll talk more about that as I get into the expanded forecast. So this is a nice segue. We're going to take a deeper dive now into health, wealth, love, and destiny. We're going to start off first with health, which is your mind, body, and spirit. And it's really interesting that rejection came through here. It is moving beyond rejection because the card was reversed. But if we take a moment to look at the illustration here, you can see that there's someone that is creative and sensitive, just like the Queen of Cups. And of course, because of that sensitivity and that openness, they're open to suggestion and they're open to feedback. This is you saying, sometimes I'm going to have to tune that out because opinions are just that. They are subjective, not always objective. So it's just how someone feels. We can't let someone else's feelings rule ours wholly, completely, and entirely. So you're starting to find a way to kind of weed out what matters and what doesn't. That being said, let's take a look at all of the cards here and just see general messages for well-being. Changing things up, whether it's your exercise routine, whether it's a job that has grown stagnant, whether it's just your daily schedule and you're a little bit bored with everything and need a change. The coffin shows restrictions. The devil shows restrictions. We want to break you free from those restrictions. So that's the first thing. The devil and the Seven of Swords are close comrades here in the cards. Seven of Swords works through deception or illusion, and the devil likes that because it can sometimes keep you, what? Blindfolded. All three of these cards work together. By not knowing what's there, you might settle. The Four of Pentacles also works with the devil for something that doesn't serve or suit you. So this is a month to get real, to look at things and to overcome the Seven of Swords. So rather than thinking maybe I can get away with this, think to yourself, I'm ready to deal with this head on. This isn't good enough. This isn't good enough. This isn't good enough. Okay. Chariot in reverse. Some of you may need to change up. This has to do with your car. It's kind of interesting that this is coming through. If there are some safety issues, because I did see like the leaky roof in the house, there might be something that needs to be dealt with here, like brakes, or even the windshield, something like that. Take a look at your car. It might be time to get a new one. It might be time to do some repairs. This is also you just taking control of something. When it comes to things that are either like an addiction or there may be a codependent relationship, the Chariot is a reclamation of power, and it's saying, I love and care about myself enough that I'm going to move on even if this other person isn't. So that could be one thing that's coming through for some of you. As I said earlier, the Eight of Cups represents the ability to create something new, a new cycle. You can end an old one and you can create something better, and it has a good chance of sticking. The Two of Swords here in the environment, this is dealing with something in your living conditions that you've been ignoring. So I had to go back to the original card here, and we can see the water there. So I definitely would love for you to take a look at things like plumbing, the roof, even windows, weatherproofing things. This is a time to pay attention to that because those problems don't go away. They just end up getting a little bit bigger, and that's going to be something you want to pay attention to. This card can also represent hearing and seeing, since the blindfolds go around both the ears and the eyes. So you can always take a look at both of those if it's been a while since you went to the optometrist or the audiologist. And that's pretty much everything there. Just one last thing here with this. This can also represent a close call. It could be a close call with health, with something else in your life, and you're at this moment now where it's a wake-up call, and you're going to decide to do better, because we see them coming out of the coffins here. That's why I'm connecting these two cards. So that second chance requires embracing the necessary action. So I just wanted to end with that note. Overall, I like what I'm seeing here with health. I especially like that it's ending on a positive note with the Queen of Cups. And the way to get to that upright Queen of Cups is to ask questions, speak out, make some changes, step out of these limiting people, places, or opportunities, and at the end of the day, step into something that's just a better fit for you. This is a nice segue into the energy of wealth, which is your resources, your life purpose, and your career. So let's take a look first at the Oracle card, and then let's talk about what's in front of us here. So we have a card that's associated with writing here. It says the Word, and this month in particular, your communication non-verbally is going to be really important. I mentioned that the King of Wands is not as communicative just in speech as like the King of Swords, uses body language, in fact, and also might be using nonverbal cues or nonverbal aids like illustrations. But what we're also seeing here is the importance to lean on things being spelled out. Let's not just assume that someone is going to intuit everything. So find a way, even if it's with partnering up with someone else, to articulate and put into writing something that matters. This is a chance for you also, if you don't like a contract, to draft up something that is more acceptable or to revise something. It's also making sure that you look at each and every word in a contract, because the Two of Swords can represent ignoring things, kind of like we saw in my dreams where everything was leaky but wasn't being fixed. So you want to make sure that you go into something and say, I like this and I like that, but this we have to talk about. It's worth noting that we do have an Ace of Swords, which is verbal communication, and it appears in the area of hopes, fears, and opportunities. So you have a chance this month to find and use your voice. And much to the chagrin of whatever's going on here, you're going to speak up and be the voice of reason, and I like that. Let's take this and get more specific now. We're going to break it down into three categories: those that have a job, those that are seeking employment, and those that are retired. If you're currently employed, definitely leadership energy comes front and center, both in the spread and probably in what's going on in your life. We see someone that could be in a leadership position that lacks integrity. The Chariot with the Seven of Swords, this is very specific to looking at wealth. It's someone steering it in the wrong direction, possibly for personal gain, or it's someone blocking your ascension to the King of Wands for reasons of possession. Like they want to hold on to you. They want you to be close. And it's basically because they're afraid of being alone, or they don't want to have to go through the energy of hiring someone new. So you'll be able to see through that, and that is a big old red flag. And this is where you go in to make sure that the contract is being honored. You speak up if you need to. You break the chains that bind. You're going to be okay. You're going to land on your feet. But this isn't an energy that you have to put up with. That's the first thing here. We see a really great opportunity to invent, to expand, to explore. Some of you might be deciding to go back to school. It doesn't have to just be leadership. It's developing the crown chakra and really coming through with all of this inventive and bright energy. So I'm excited with potential. And just like you, I might be a little bit annoyed at this temporary roadblock, but it does feel like this impasse can be dealt with in a way of dignity and grace. If you need to move on, you can do so. You don't have to cause a lot of challenge or issue with that. Just move in the new direction if you need to. You do have a great chance right now to do something new and have it stick with success. The Eight of Cups can be second chances. So can this, because we were talking a little bit earlier about the ability to rise above here with the Judgment energy very close to the coffin. So this is a chance for you to say, done with this, ready for this. Let's reach for the stars. Amen to that. Your voice, your writing, your verbal and your written communication are so important this month, and they really exist in the areas of opportunity or development. So I have no question that you have great ideas that you have great leadership potential, but it would be advantageous for many of you if you decide to focus a bit more in fine-tuning your verbal communication, and for many of you, your written communication. And this might involve taking a class or getting involved with like a public speaking group, etc. So think about that if it's something that you are interested in. Ultimately, we see expression here, creative expression of an idea and creative realization for something that you've been sitting with for a while. And this looks pretty cool. You could also be ascending into this new creative role for many of you that involves both leadership and creativity. It is important to make sure that if you are going to get out of something, that you've looked at the contractual limitations. And if you need to, just make sure that if there's something you have to fight for, if there's something that you have to address, deal with that contractual stuff first and foremost. And ultimately, for those of you that were feeling a sense of rejection initially, keep trying. This is continued trial and error, as I said earlier, the Eight of Cups, and then ultimately we see success with the Queen of Cups here. So if at first you don't succeed, try again, and that's okay. We've all been through the energy of rejection. You're going to rise above this time. Let's now turn the table and take a look at those of you that might be seeking employment. So we can definitely see some of you taking the energy of rejection to heart. And remember that rejection is a cosmic form of protection. It's helping you from engaging with someone or something where you just wouldn't be a perfect fit. We also see that for some of you, whatever you're putting out there, the resume, the phone call, it's not necessarily being seen or heard. So it may be better for you to take a pause and remember what I saw in dreams, which was some of you might need to go around the person that isn't ready to do the work. So if there's someone that is kind of like asleep at the wheel and isn't answering phones or emails or looking at your resume, try a different point of contact. That's going to be much more effective, and it'll be time that's better spent for you and for them as well. And again, if you continually try one place and you don't get any feedback, listen to that, move in a different direction. Something better awaits you. The key thing here is if you are an artist or if you are an inventor, because this can be both of those, that you are keeping a good handle on your intellectual property. Make sure you don't sign away too much. Make sure you understand what you're getting into in new contracts. It might be necessary to travel for work or to look in a different industry altogether, kind of repackaging your skills, and that's going to be worth the time and energy for sure. When it comes to not contract, but salary negotiations, Four of Pentacles in the past represents something that wasn't enough. The Devil represents someone that may try to have you accept the same thing. You want to reach higher this time around, and you are really entering into King and Queen energy. So don't sell yourself short. That's something really important here. Look at every word of the contract, and if you don't understand it, ask a question. Basically be very, very clear, concise, inquisitive, and scrutinize that until you understand what you're getting into. Now let's move on to those of you that may be retired or you're just not focusing a lot on trying to find a job at the moment. So, this card has to do with storytelling. And in addition to that, we have like a recording card here with the Ace of Swords. So you could be recording a story. You could be recording a song, by the way, because this is an expressive card. You could be choreographing something like a dance, because this is creative as well. So we're seeing a way for you to communicate a larger narrative through a creative lens. And many of you may also want to step into a mentorship role to maybe help other people through some of this as well. The Eight of Cups. For some of you, you want to go back and deal with something that's been in your life for a while. That maybe it could be a fear or a setback, and you're going to now address this and liberate yourself. And this could also be a larger part of your narrative or story here. I like everything that I'm seeing here for those of you that really aren't focusing on work, because ultimately it is about creating some sort of a new creative or joyful cycle in your life. And for each of you, this is unique, but what's cool about the Queen of Cups is she's not so worried about the bottom line. She's not so worried about basically what everyone else is thinking. She just is in her moment, feeling things, and that expressive, authentic energy is what pulls others into your life as well, which is a nice segue to look at the energy of love. We have the Divine Mother coming through saying, thank you for helping me to give and receive the love that I deserve. And basically, this is helping you overcome the energy of the devil, which we talked about way at the beginning as being a conditional version of the Lover's card, which is unconditional love, no anchors, no chains, no hidden sort of like subtext. And with this card, it's basically someone that is trying to hold on or trying to keep someone or something for the wrong reasons. So let's turn the camera down. We're going to look at this in 3 categories: those in love, looking for love, and single and happy, beginning with those that are in love. The biggest challenge right now is non-disclosure, not saying everything. And so it's not an outright lie, but it's an omission of something, which is in and of itself not completely telling the truth. So I think the biggest thing that you can do to improve overall relationship health is to increase honesty, transparency, and unconditional love and support. So if somebody says they're going through something, rather than immediately pointing a finger or starting an argument, you can say, wow, first of all, I'm sorry you're going through that. Help me understand what's going on. How did this happen? And then you can ask also, like, why didn't we talk about this sooner? I wish I could have helped. Put yourself in a position of supporting, always inquire, always keep it a safe space, because there may have been a reason that you or your partner feels like they have to hold something back. So creating that safe space is how you can overcome all of these things. So this is a secret, this is non-disclosure, this is hiding something, this is holding on to something, all very similar energies. We're going to break that cycle right now, okay? It's because you both are strong and loving. Communication will lead the way. Love, the language of love, is what's going to be really important here. And that's how a healthy relationship will handle this. Challenges, external challenges that might be coming through, parental energy. So the Hierophant and the Devil could be kind of different sides of that same coin. So there could be a mom or a dad in the picture that have a controlling influence on one or both of you. There could also be a familial energy that doesn't like what they see, and they wish that they could change your life or your partner's life. And again, this is a chance for both of you to rise up and stand up for each other in that particular situation. The only thing that tears down the walls of the relationship is if there's dishonesty, if there's a lack of communication. There may be something going on in the environment that's out of your control. There may be something going on that you wish that would just stop, but it's important to talk about it. Just as I said with the leaky roof earlier, ignoring it doesn't make it go away. It usually just makes the puddles bigger. So it's going to be important to find a way to communicate love, affection, and empathy, but also say in this safe space, we also need to work through it. Okay? Those are the main things that I'm picking up on. Can you make it work? Yeah, when we look at the outcome cards. It's a cycle that can be broken. Communication is key, and you can overcome this. This is just a potential block. And it has different kind of like feelers that it's put out, same energy, different cards. And I think that that's the main focus here. Now, there may be some relationships where there's a third party, and it may not just be a parent or a friend. It could also be an ex that's in the picture. And this needs to be dealt with as well. So communication is key. We have to bring everything into the light of day and say, what's this about? And really make sure that you're putting down firm boundaries and expectations, okay? And as long as those are dealt with and met, things go in the right direction. If they're not, it's a sign that it's time to move in a different space. Okay, if you're looking for love right now, here's what I see. You may not be fully ready. The partner that you meet, the first one that you may meet, may not be fully ready. The devil is usually an attachment. So this could mean that they're not fully out of a divorce. This may mean that they're working so much that they can't give you what you need. They may be trying to come forth with that Four of Pentacles energy, which leaves you wanting or needing more. They may also not tell you an important fact about their past or their present. And when that comes out, that also raises some flags. So pay attention to that. I think that that's definitely an energy that is something that has history. So if it comes up, it may not be the right match. I think wait a bit. I like who comes through later. So there may be someone who, the King of Wands energy that first appears may not be what you're looking for. There could be a Capricorn too that's coming through that's not what you're looking for. It's like on the third try, takes a few attempts, and don't feel that energy of rejection if it doesn't work out. Some of these people that are presenting themselves aren't ready or aren't deserving kind of like the love that you have to give, which is coming through as a pretty high love. So hold a higher bar, hold a higher standard, be honest with yourself, be honest with others, hold them to the same energy, and you should be okay. Avoid temptation. There might also be someone that comes through that has a bad influence on you, maybe has a habit that you've overcome. Be mindful of that as well. I think that's everything that I have to say there. If you're if you're not looking for love, if you're single and happy, or you're just focused on personal development, here's what I see. Don't limit yourself. This is a chance to move above and beyond any sort of existing limits. It looks like it's a great time for you to learn, to explore. So maybe for some of you, that's going back to school. Eight of Cups is picking up something that you haven't done before and finishing it, just like we were talking about in career. You have a chance to actually meet people, but it is through doing something that you love. So you may pull in this sort of like spiritual tribe that I saw in my channeled visions earlier, and it's through doing something creative. The main thing here is with this Four of Pentacles, letting go. Letting go, I think it's a month of healing here, letting go of any sort of patterns of rejection or accepting less than what you deserve, and really saying, I want to reach and accomplish and feel something higher energetically. So I think this is really a month for development. And again, as you reach that new high, you might also find a new friend or a new love interest. Not what you're looking for necessarily, but we still see that coming through. Creative expression, intuitive development, kind of off the charts. So that's also available for you this month. Moving on to the energy of destiny. Trust. It's the hardest thing sometimes, but it's going to be one of the best things here. Trust in the universal flow, or even where things aren't moving, because there is a larger plan here. So trust in yourself, have faith and hope in the universe, and also trust in your own ability. So I would say just trust in all of the important sort of categories that we look in, and know that there is a larger rhyme and reason. Okay, let's go ahead now and take a look at sun, rising, and moon sign messages and see what the universe has to say for all of these. All right, sun, rising, and moon. Let's begin with sun sign messages. We have the Hermit. The Hermit was in reverse. It's basically saying, come out of your shell. Don't be afraid now to basically shine a light on something. So this has been a common theme this month. The reversal of this one also reminds you that there does come a point where you've done enough prep work. So for those of you that may be working on a really large project or self-improvement thing, there comes a point here where you've done everything you can and it's time to step into the spotlight. If you've been a homebody, staying in your house a lot, this is also an encouragement to get a little bit more fresh air, to get outside, to meet and to connect with new people. This is going to open up healthier channels, new opportunities. It's going to also give you new ideas that can help kind of fuel the energy here of the King of Wands. So all of that is coming through as well. This is a card here also of great knowledge, and this is saying you have some things that you can share with the world. So we talked about, like, you have three different methods here as we're looking at the cards. We have nonverbal, we have verbal, and then we have written. So you can show it, you can tell it, you can do it. And by embodying all of these things, you're going to inspire others. People may be seeking you out as a teacher or mentor. And with the reversal of this, you may not necessarily immediately categorize yourself in that, but you're actually perfectly matched to mentor or to advise. So if that feels right, then go for it. Moving into the energy of rising. It's resistance to change, but wow, it's beautiful change here. So we have a really great illustration for the world. And we can see here all of these butterflies or moths and all these turtles. So the movement is starting to pick up, and there's going to be an opportunity for you to reach higher, go further, experience more blessings, but it may require a big change, a move to a new job or to a new house, moving in or out of a relationship, signing something, to allow for larger distribution or things of that nature. The World card typically is very, very positive. So the reversal means it's happening faster than you anticipated. There's resistance possibly to the change, or it's going even bigger than you expected. So if it's happening, lean in, have some fun, spread your wings, okay? And it's okay to move on. It's okay to let go. There may have been someone or something in your life that made you second guess that, but that's no longer the case. Moving on to moon sign messages, we have the Princess or the Page of Cups, and she's reversed. And so for many of you, before you can receive whatever needs to come in, first, you need to address the underlying emotional issues, whatever they might be. It could be just anxiety, it could be sadness, could be, for some of you, just uncertainty. Whatever's going on, you're going to address that first so that we can put this big old ace out into the universe and say, yes, let's do this. There's also great empathetic energy with the Page of Cups in reverse. Some of you may be just sort of tending to take on a lot more than you need to, listening so much to someone that it kind of like, it's stuck in your energy. So this is also a call to action when it comes to ways for like self-care, and to also put limits on how much you're willing to take on or take in when it comes to particularly listening. This is a chance to express yourself, to speak up, to let people know how you feel, what you think, etc. And to be really proud about the work that you've done. We can see that in this particular illustration. All right, now we're going to take a look here at the final message for today. This is a chance for you to tune into one question that I haven't yet covered and ask it, and we'll see what Spirit has to say. So final question, final card. We have the beautiful Six of Cups coming through for this final question. What I really, really love in this illustration is we see all of these lily or lotus blossoms coming out of the water. This represents overcoming odds and working through some of the more challenging things in your life. There's always flowers that are an element in this card. So for some of you, this is a representation of putting yourself out there, giving an offering to someone, or accepting an offer. So if you're trying to ask, should I accept this offer? It feels like you've worked really hard to create this in your life. Partnership is on the horizon for many of you with the Six of Cups. You may not have been looking for it, but it's coming through. As a yes or no, it's a yes, comma, but the main thing is that it feels mutual. So we see mutual joy in all of these cards here. And if you feel it and it flows both ways, then go for it. And if it's only one-sided, if you're not feeling the same mutual appreciation, be mindful of that. This is also just letting the inner child come out to play. So if there's any part of your life where you have denied yourself joy or happiness because you feel like you have to, meet up to these adult standards or whatever, this is a chance to really be a little bit more playful, a little bit more kind of like footloose and fancy-free, and just really, really have some fun in this moment, okay? Love yourself, let others love you. Allow yourself to receive the blessings that want to come in, folks. That brings this reading to a close. If you like what you see here, do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe. It helps this channel grow, and it's absolutely free. You can also give me a follow on social media so you never miss out on any special announcements or impromptu readings. If you want to show some love and support, it's optional, but it really helps. So why not give back in the way of a membership, super sticker, or super chat, or super thanks. Thank you in advance for any of those. By the way, a quick reminder, I do not give out any private readings, and I never send messages asking for anything. So if somebody does that, block and report. And when in doubt, go to my website. All of my official links are listed there. My production schedule is I release new videos every Monday, Thursday, and Friday, unless there's a holiday or special announcement. I do daily card reads, and you can join me every Sunday for a live stream at 9:15 a.m. Pacific time. Thank you so much for being the best part of what I do here on YouTube. Couldn't be here without you, and I really appreciate your love and support. Wishing you all the best in this new year. I hope to see you again soon. Until then, take care.